31.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to EdTech Chatting 2, episode number 31. My friends, we're in like trios. Isn't that crazy? So today we're talking about some of the things that we've seen in conferences lately. I've been at FUTC. Mike and I have been at the Learning Forward Kansas, and Joe's TCEA all the way. So we're going to be sharing some of those experiences that we have taken away some good information. And also tell you about some things that are happening in our own areas that you can take away as ideas for your classroom. So let's start with Joe. How's it going, Joe?
It's going good. Of course, this is my day off, so I'm like kind of chill. Can you tell? I'm in a t-shirt and I'm at home. Yay!
Cozy. I like it.
Yeah, and I'm about to have a leftover ribeye and a potato, but we'll talk about that later, right? But but anyway, TCA was awesome, by the way. It was so much to learn, but it was exhausting because, I mean, this time is the first time that I was on the other side. Normally I attend and I just consume as much as I can, follow me, and this time I'm one of the, I guess, presenters. And so I presented 13 times, and then the presentations I thought were not going to click. And I thought, no one's going to care about this presentation. They loved it, and I was like, wow, really? They like this presentation? So it was neat.
So what was one of those that really surprised you?
Well, there was one that I did on differentiating the classroom with QR codes. And so I was showing how when teachers create worksheets, right, different worksheets, plain text on paper, and so if you were trying to address the kid's auditory, you can just put a QR code next to it, just reading what's written on the paper. But if you have an ESL kid, you can have two QR codes, one in the language that it's written on, but then one in Spanish so they can get the meaning. Or they could have a YouTube video explaining what's going on in the word problem. Or so I did a bunch of different angles on how you can use QR codes to enhance the classroom, especially differentiate. And they loved it. And then one of the
I'm excited just hearing about it. I have to tell you, I wish I were in that session.
It was pretty cool. And then one of the participants, I did also another presentation that I thought was not going to click. It kind of similar, but for ESL teachers. Mm-hmm. And one of the participants created a hashtag called I like frijoles because I was just joking about beans, right, frijoles. And so I have a hashtag called I like frijoles. And so if you go to Twitter and you type in hashtag I like frijoles, you'll see like a few little posts. And you'll see a picture of two beans and stuff like that. It's funny. Yeah. It was fun. So
those are great things that were happening down there.
It was fun. It was fun. And then I was hanging out with Karen, and we took Mike downtown, right? We'll meet him downtown in Austin. And on our way to meet him, there was some participants there like, hey, it's Joe. And so I was taking selfies with people in downtown Austin. I was like, oh, I felt special.
I tell you, I would want my selfie with Joe. How about you, Micah?
It was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope maybe we can go to TCEA next year.
You should. It's enormous, and there's a lot of sharing. I didn't get to see Bill Nye. I really want to. I barely missed him by a few seconds. Megan gave us access to go see him, so I was on my way to go meet with Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Right when I got to the backstage, he was being introduced to the stage. And I was like, barely missed it. But I did meet Fred Lavardi.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he's a really nice man, very approachable. I mean, I was his bodyguard for about 5 minutes. This scrawny guy was a bodyguard. Really.
Hey, not only does everyone want the selfie with you, but you're a good protector. You're military.
I was like...
There were a lot of hats during this conference.
What was that again?
A lot of hats during this conference. Bodyguard, presenter, oh, man.
I did it all. Yeah. Yeah, then on Thursday night we had the social from 8 to 11. There was a dance and everything.
Right.
And of course, we were doing bouncing duties too. But good thing for us, everyone behaved. It was beautiful. They're all dancing to 80s, 70s music with the Spasmatics.
Right.
Fun band, yeah. It was cool.
Vanessa Jones, she's a good friend of mine, and she was talking about the Spasmatics and how great of a show it was. So good things were happening. So, real quickly, Joe, is there anything that you eavesdrop on a conversation that you thought, hey, that's something new I'm going to take away?
It's one thing I am gonna bring up to our group, right? Because this year we're so busy presenting that I didn't have a chance to go see the new stuff. Normally when I go as a participant, I go to the sessions I want to go to, the ones I want to learn, and sometimes what happens is that some of those sessions are filled up, so I'm forced to go to choice number 2 or choice number 3. And those happen to be something like, wow, I had no idea I could learn something new. Follow me? And you're like, wow. And another thing that I missed out on is going to the floor to the vendors. You know what I'm saying? The exhibition hall, because they always have the new stuff that's popping out, the new things, and so I didn't get to experience that. So I'm gonna ask the big boss when we have our meeting this week, our debriefing meeting. I'm gonna say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys could give us just an hour dedicated to go to the exhibition hall, or at least an hour to go see some sessions that we are interested, because we're so busy that we didn't get to experience any of that.
Well, and you want to be able to learn and grow as well as anyone else, so I think that's a fair request.
Yeah.
There's good things in those vendors that I take away a lot of new ideas from the vendor hall just as much as I do from sessions, so that's a great idea. Okay, let's switch over to Micah. Micah, what do you think about the Learning Forward Kansas Conference this year?
I was opposite of you, Joe, kind of, well, maybe the same, because I turned into a presenter with Diane, and so that was new for me this year. But what was really cool for me to see was the different topics that people wanted to go to and present on and share learning. I think one of my favorite takeaways is learning more about Google Classroom and how teachers in our district were utilizing it with their classes. And then you can never go wrong with a good global learning session. So had some fun with that.
And we didn't have a really large group, but we did have some great conversations. Would you agree, Micah?
Yeah, I think that's what made it nice, was that like a smaller scale, so we could really be kind of one-to-one with each participant and kind of get to know them more and see how they can apply what we were presenting into their own role, whether they were the instructional coach or the teacher or we had a principal. So that was neat to have kind of a smaller scale.
Absolutely. And I would say the one thing that kind of surprised me is we also had teachers share from their classroom experiences, things that they were doing with Skype, things they were doing with the Chromebooks and so forth. Just how amazing our teachers are at thinking out of the box. And how Symbaloo has been like a huge hit across the district as well. Even though we're having it being fussy a little bit today. Yeah, Micah?
Yeah, a little funny. That's okay. All good things are worth waiting for. So, we'll iron those out. And, yeah, that's the hot topic right now, is making content easy for kids to access independently.
Absolutely. And then we also shared the ViewPure app, or the website a little bit. What does that one do, Micah?
Okay, so if you're like our district, most districts are, YouTube is blocked for students, which I feel it should be. But ViewPure is a good workaround for students to be able to view previewed videos from the teacher's point without that yucky commercials and ads and comments and things like that. So you take a URL from YouTube, any video that you'd like your students to view, and you put it into the ViewPure filter, and it purifies it. And so you get a brand new URL that your students can just click on, and they get to see that awesome video without all the YouTube yuckiness.
Which is huge. Absolutely huge. Joe, have you heard of ViewPure or SafeShare, one of those before?
I've heard other ones, but this is the first time I hear ViewPure, and so I'm already bookmarking it. And thank you for the share. But I've seen other ones, other apps. I just can't think of them on the fly. But yeah, I've presented on a couple of those. But this one I'm definitely going to share. It looks nice. It looks clean.
It's my favorite. Yeah, it's very clean, and it actually has a bookmarking tool that you can put up in your browser, so that when you're on YouTube, all you have to do is click your purify. Think your pin it button for Pinterest. All you have to do is click it, and it automatically purifies without having to even go to the ViewPure website.
That's sweet. I see it there. I see it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. It's called Purify.
Nice.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Search right there on the website is nice too, so you don't have to have two windows open. You can just search right within that web space, which is awesome. So that was huge. In FETC, I was there a couple weeks ago in Florida. Weather was awesome, I will say, but really what walked away myself with some new ideas is I was working in the Microsoft booth and had seen the new things that are happening for OneNote and Office 365. We live in a Google district, so I didn't know much that was going on in the Office 365 area, but I got to sample a few things in there. And one is going to be amazing is this new translator for Skype in the classroom that Mike was probably going to share today because he's now in the beta tool for that. So imagine, Joe, if you're are you in the beta tool? And what do you think of it?
Well, the thing is I left my Windows machine at work, and at home I only have a Mac, so it's not available on Mac yet. So I have to wait till I get to work. Boo for me.
Hey, I'm on a Mac too, my friend, so I'm right there with you. But I know that Mike received his invite this week. Obviously, you must have received yours as well.
At the same time.
Same time. Just getting a chance to go in there and see if one person speaks in one language, one another, and it translates it. That's awesome.
And I want to test it. You know, I want to communicate with, back home to my mom, for example, or family in Mexico, and I want to try it out. Like I'll speak in English, and I'll know what I'm saying, right? I want to see what the translation is, and I'll know what they're saying, so I want to see what the translation is, so I can test it out. So, and I want to talk to family in Mexico. They use because they don't have any the border influence. Family they're using I wouldn't say proper Spanish, but better Spanish than the border Spanish. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear what comes out of that. That's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. There's no limits anymore, It's great. Okay. Karen asked me to share one item today as well because she's not available to be with us today, but she wanted to share the MoMA Art Lab app, which is a tool that actually allows students to create art on the iPad from the Museum of Modern Art. And she says that she's seen it at TCEA and was really blown away by it. She said it also has a word cloud app that she was using ABC, a word cloud. She wanted to share that one instead of first grade teacher shared it with her with the little ones, but wanted to make sure that all of our EdTech users had, EdTech Chatting 2 people had seen that as well. So Micah, any other good things to share from the district? You're muted, sweetheart.
What, you can't read lips? What?
No.
Come on, guys, there's got to be an app for it, right? Speaking of apps, one of the favorite apps that I'm using with some teachers and that I've been telling teachers about is Adobe Voice. It's on the iPad and it's free, and I like it because someone mentioned things being clean earlier. It's clean and simplistic. It's basically hit, drag, drop, and it's digital storytelling. And like I said, it's right now only on the iPad, but it's great for especially little ones for digital storytelling. So Adobe Voice has been cool.
Absolutely. And then we've also spoken before about the Lego Story Starters, which are the coolest things ever. Have you seen these, Joe?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen the only thing I've experienced with Lego is the robotics, and it's madness. I mean, in a good way. In a good way.
These are actually for language arts, and they're storytelling kits where the students can create people and history, and I mean, they're Legos for film and for photos and that sort of a thing.
What was it called again? I'm sorry.
Lego Story Starters.
Okay.
Okay. But Micah, what's the good news about the Story Starters lately?
They have added expansion packs. So you can add on to your kit. They have a space kit, a fairy tale kit, including like magic wands and potions and cauldrons. And also what's going to be big in our district is a community expansion pack where they have the community workers' outfits and different things that they can do within the community, think community workers and things like that. So that's going to be really awesome.
I can't wait, and hopefully we can get those here before too long. And then, Micah, you also have some news from the Osmo group of folks.
Yes, right now in beta, are we familiar with what Osmo is, Joe?
Oh, yeah, this is pretty awesome. I love Osmo.
Love it too. So right now we have the Words app, and we have the Newton app, and then also the Tangrams app. Right now in beta we have something called Masterpiece. So think about.
Oh.
We'll get her.
Uh-oh.
Try that again, Micah.
Oh, I'm silly. Okay, where did you lose me?
Masterpiece.
Okay, so Masterpiece. Think when you were younger, those big coloring books with the black, just black and white, and you were able to color it however you wanted. That's what Masterpiece does. You take a blank piece of paper, and it has a digital coloring book. The picture's up on the iPad screen, and you are drawing and tracing down on the paper. It's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So not only do they have their own bank of images for you to use, you can take anything off the internet. You can take a selfie. You were talking about selfies earlier, Joe. You can turn one of those selfies from FETC into your own art. And so we can take pictures of anything we want and then draw it digitally.
That's too cool. Okay, that's fun.
Yep, I'm excited about that one too. So hopefully we'll see that before ISTE this summer. It'll be live for everybody to try out. So that, and then there was one other thing that I've seen kind of interesting happen lately in our district is we have a lot of teachers who are involved in a project called Project Link, and this is a 6th grade water filtration project that is going on with children in Greece. Our friend Eero, giving a high five to our buddy Eero. Students in Kenya, so Livingston students, howdy Livingston, and then Stacey Ryan's students along with the other 6th and 7th graders here at Andover Middle School. But the students are actually partnering with LifeStraw and creating filtration units here to help the children in Kenya have a ability to have clean water there. And LifeStraw has made a partner match with them to help with fundraising and so forth. So hopefully in the very near future, these schools will have fresh, clean water for their children. It's pretty amazing.
That's pretty awesome.
And we'll share the project link in the YouTube space so you guys can check out that particular project as well. So, that being said, Joe, what's for lunch?
Leftover ribeye with baked potato. Delicious.
Okay, you're going to get the you get the after this week. Micah, what's for lunch?
Also leftovers, but I have leftover homemade fettuccine Alfredo and shrimp.
Well, very nice. I'm having almond butter and a smoothie. Going in here. But that's all we have time for this week. We'll see you next week on EdTech Chapter 2.
Yay!
Yay.